Today, Scorched Earth Toys at anymoon.com is reviewing its first Kids Logic release. Kids Logic makes really cool looking stuff for Robotech and Macross, but it's usually very expensive and more a statue or display piece than a toy. If you want to browse their catalog while simultaneously supporting this channel, head over to Big Bad Toy Store by clicking the link in the comments below and searching for Robotech. When I saw Kids Logic made a 1/6 scale Rick Hunter figure that they've dual badged as Hikaru from SDF Macross, I thought they had put something right in my wheelhouse. Released in March 2019 for $124.99, it also wasn't incredibly expensive as far as 1/6 scale figures are concerned, so I took the plunge. This product comes in a sturdy brown cardboard box covered by a nicely decorated sleeve. One important distinction to note on the box is that the contents are described as a, quote, action figurine, end quote. This is not an action figure, it is instead a statue with some optionality. Kids Logic shoehorned it into their Action Nations line, but it bears nothing in common with AN01, that's Akuma from Street Fighter IV. The box contains 3 hands, a pair of open hands, and a saluting right hand. There are fists already installed to the figure, a helmet, and behind the plastic tray you'll find a simple, transparent doll stand. This figure cannot stand on its own. It absolutely requires the included doll stand, so that's good that it has it. You are also going to need to use the ground to get articulation out of the legs, but I'll get to that more in a moment. But what that means as far as the stand goes is that it'd be really nice if the stand's base had more texture, because as it is, the feet kind of slide around on there, and when you need to use pressure on the ground to get the feet into a position, that being slick is unfortunate, makes things a little more frustrating. The stand itself consists of a clasp, which you have the ability to open and shut. This screw here is how you get the up-down angle of the claw. So you tighten that up when you get it to where it be. And obviously we just have a rod and the base. So pretty simple construction, but an absolutely vital part of your experience. There are optional hands, and in this close-up you could see the watch detail, nothing to write home about there. But to swap the hand, it's just a ball joint. We can just pull it off. That's going to reveal that baggy that's over the foam within, which is a little odd. And then you just take another hand and just pop it right on that ball joint. Again, same watch detail there. You can see the hand, even though it's just painted sort of a rubbery plastic, you can move the fingers around, works just fine with that white leatherette of the suit. The toy comes with a helmet. The helmet is just a prop. The helmet cannot go on the head. The helmet does not have an integrated visor. The helmet does not have actual pads in the back of it. All it's meant to do is to be held by the doll or statuette or figurine, whatever you want to call it. Just put it on there, and that's what it's meant for. Nothing beyond that. Articulation is either wonderful for a statue or pretty lame for an action figure. You can be the judge. The head starts off good. So we have a ball joint at the top. We can spin the head all the way around, Exorcist style. We can rock it back and forth. It can look all the way down because there's a neck pivot all the way up, but there's also a separate pivot towards the head. So all of this is very good at the head. Then we have the shoulder joint, which is also very good. It's kind of, there's a double joint inside. It can come away from the body. It can rotate. Really what's stopping you at the shoulder is how tight that suit is, which is fine, it's to be expected. The elbow could go more than 90 degrees. Again, the suit is gonna limit you a little bit. You saw we have ball jointed hands, so that's all good. There is a torso joint. There is the ability to twist at the torso, which is all good. When we get to the waist though, things kind of fall apart on us. This is where the doll seems to change from an action figure body to just 2 wires that are covered with pads. So we can bring the legs out, we can bring them back and forth, but you have to put the toy down for them to stay back and forth. They are going to want to come back together. So a little weird there. Where things get even more weird is the knee. which is under pressure to be straight. So again, it seems like there's just a rod here covered in foam. So what you would have to do if you want it to have a bent knee is put the toe down on a surface to keep that leg in the back position. We have an ankle, it rotates, it goes up and down. And again, it feels like there might just be a rod that comes through, a bendable rod, that terminates inside a foot. So it might be a ball joint, but it doesn't feel like it wants to stay in any sort of position. So I suspect it's probably even simpler than that. So from the waist down, this toy really doesn't give you much to go with. You can use pressure to sort of simulate action poses, but there aren't really joints that you're handling with. So you're gonna be limited in that capacity.
All right, it's definitely not for everyone, but I like what Kids Logic has done with the face sculpt. I feel like they've tried to make a realistic looking Rick Hunter instead of a perfect 3D representation of the character art, and that goes well with the fine detail of the suit. In contrast, the figures previously made by Popbox tried to stay closer to the anime. I guess I'm easygoing because I like what both companies did.
I usually purchase character figures to accentuate my display of the mechanical toys. This is a Bandai DX VF1. It's 26.5 centimeters tall to the top of the head. You can see this Rick Hunter figure is 28 centimeters tall to the top of the head. Between that, the leather, the detail, these two items don't go particularly great in a display in my estimation, because this toy becomes, or this figurine I should say, becomes the centerpiece, and everything else kind of just falls away. Same would be true with something like the Popbox Toynami Hikaru. It was 32 centimeters tall. It's big, it dominates. If you want something to accentuate, I would say go smaller. There were the CM's figures that are not articulated. Also, we have these Kits Concept 112 scale figures. Obviously, not nearly as nicely detailed, but as an accessory to a mechanical collection, they do a great job there. And the Kits Concept ones offer you the ability for a lot more posing than something a little more static like we have here.
So I was let down because I thought I was buying an action figure, and that's not what this is. Kids Logic has proven through their other Robotech merchandise that there is a market for good-looking collectibles that aren't toys. So if your number one priority is finding a good-looking figure, and articulation or playability or just a bonus on top of that, then maybe this figurine is for you. If you're feeling more informed about this product, hit that like button. If you like toys, hit that subscribe button, and head on over to anymoon.com for my full article. Thanks for watching.